guys, happy Sunday with Satan. So, tried to do this today. Not a good idea. Can't even see. Can't see a thing. So I'm gonna have to get back in the shower. Just re-shower and just... Ouija sessions tomorrow. Tomorrow Ouija sessions will continue. I just can't do it. I just can't. So I want them to be perfect for Mariah, for you, Jasper for you, Jessica for you. I want them to be perfect. And if I'm not feeling the best, then I won't Ouija. I will not do anything for you guys unless I'm at my best. So tomorrow I'm really feeling good. Well, better than I have. I don't feel like I'm dying. I don't think I've died, and this is purgatory, and I'm in hell, the hell dimension for the rest of my life now. So that's good. But anyways, how did everybody's full moon ritual go? Did anybody do it? Kristen, I know you did it. I know a lot of people actually did do it. Mine was pretty just low, very low key. I didn't do much. I just did a little magical pouch. That was it. I did not have the energy to do much at all. So. But I did get my magical pouch done, which I'm very, very happy for. It's starting to work already. It's really already starting to work. I love it. So thank you, Mr. Spiritual. So I named him Mr. Spiritual. We did the lodestone. We did all that. The petition paper, the oils, the herbs, the incense. So, I don't know how I can smell this, but it smells that good. So yes, very, very happy with this. Very happy. So, the oil bottles too. These are awfully big, so these are going to be a much more, not much more, but they're going to be more expensive than the other ones, because, yeah, look at that, nice, gold. And you have your cricket, little, curved, tipped. So yes, I think that's 8 ounces. So yes, thank you, sister. I love these. These are really seriously amazing. They kind of remind me of what MediHemp comes in, the little dropper bottles for CBD oil, for the MediHemp, that company. That's what these look like. Love that. I love it. I didn't expect for those to come today. Thank you. I love them. I love my bottles, you know that. So, alright, Talismanic Magick. So, really, really getting into Talismanic Magick. I really watched a whole bunch of Koetting. Love that man. He's awesome. He's really amazing. I really I had to sit down and I had to watch like a 2-hour interview. And he is so down to earth. He is so down to earth. I don't understand the chaos surrounding that, the left-hand path and all that. He does very well. He's very successful. He's a very good man. You can tell. You can see it in his eyes that he actually cares. So I really want to shout that out to you. So Eric, or EA, Koetting, you're amazing. You really are amazing. You gave me the confidence, you gave me the strength, you validated the strength that I had in me. And yeah, I just think that's incredible. You are incredible, so thank you. It's just amazing. I would love to interview you. So if you're not doing anything later, maybe, I would love to. Alright, so Talismanic Magick. That's really what I'm focusing on right now. So, from his video yesterday, it was incredible. It just opened up to an entirely different world of just all of the sigils that we use, and it just kind of corresponded. It went with, so synchronicity, big time synchronicity. Last night they were crazy. I mean, extremely crazy. I can't remember one of them, but I mean, it was so profound. I was like, huh? I'm literally dumbfounded. So, alright. So, for Talismanic Magick. So I kind of want to jump into this, just because I'm not sure who is doing Ouija Boot Camp yet, and I don't know what's going on with Ouija Boot Camp. But yes, I plan on, it's the 26, 27, 28, 9, 30, 31. So, 6 days. So that doesn't really give us enough time to order books, have them, delivered, and then ship it all out. So we will, today, let me know. So by tomorrow, let me know who wants to be in the Ouija Boot Camp, and then we will go from there. So, alright, talismans. Definitely, I just perked up to talismans for some odd reason. So, alright, a talisman obviously is any object, sacred or profane, with or without appropriate symbols which have been charged or consecrated by an appropriate means and made to serve a specific end. So, that is basically what the mojo bag that I did last night, that is basically what everything that we do. Pentagrams, the Seal of Solomon's, Orgon pendants, all talismans. So, the word talisman is... The word talisman is said to come from the Arabic word talisma, which means magic writing. So that goes again with our petition that goes into the mojo bag, magical writing. So, however, there is no proof of this. It may come from the Turkish meaning one who is learned in divinity. Priest, likewise, the word amulet is to believe in to be of Arabic origin. But again, there's no proof. No one knows exactly whether or where either word came from. So, today, talismans are used to draw things toward you. So that would be a lodestone would be a perfect example of a talisman. Because last night, when I did my petition paper, I folded it 3 times towards me. 3 times towards me, turned it once clockwise, again, folded it towards me, turned it one more time clockwise, folded it towards me. So I had a total of 3 turns. 3 turns, 3 folds towards me. So, okay, so their purposes include obtaining money, luck, health, or love. So for my talisman, I just kind of, I don't want to give away everything. I mean, from yesterday's, watching EA, watching his video, his documentary, just kind of affirmed, validated within myself that even if, people say, shh, don't, talk about your magic, it's not going to work. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to work. That I've always believed that, and he just reinforced that for me. So, going into Talismanic Magick, and, when you're not supposed to say anything, I mean, I guess if you're in a coven, if you're in, some kind of order, or you have oaths that you have to, abide by, I guess that's where that would come in. So, the secrecy. Unless it's just something that you really want to keep secret. But I don't believe that, telling about your magic is going to, spoil it. It's already out there. It's already, been put into the astral realm. It's already coming. So, amulets are used to keep things away also. So they protect from evil or bad luck and help keep one from ill health. So in this course, talisman, with a lowercase first letter, will refer generically to both talismans and amulets. So talisman with a capital letter, first letter, will refer to an object used to draw something towards you. So an amulet with capitalized first letter will refer to an object used specifically to keep something away. So we have that to really dig into, think about what did you do last night, or what are you going to do tonight for the full moon? How did you incorporate this into your working? So, alright. For thousands of years, writing was a magical art. I do believe magic, or writing, is a pure form of magical art. So, it was held in secret by the privileged classes and magicians. It was also believed that certain symbols had magical power in and of themselves. So this tradition has been carried even into modern movies, where Count Dracula cringes in fear from the very sight of a cross. the symbol placed upon a rock or a piece of parchment paper were of themselves considered to be powerful. So this is what this guy calls the animistic theory of how talismans work. So that would be animism. Everything has a spirit in it. So today many magicians do not believe in this theory. Rather, they take what this guy calls energetics theory of how talismans work. They believe that charging of the talisman is the most important part. Putting magical energy into the object chosen to be a talisman. The time taken carefully, put the proper symbols on the object is a good way to create and send energy. So, mix this with the energy raised and directed during a ritual to charge the talisman. And it's no wonder that this technique of magic is powerful. So, yeah, that's what I do, a little bit. So, no doubt that talismans, if properly made and charged, are powerful. So here are 3 instances of which this person, of which he is personally aware of. Donald Michael Craig. Yeah, Donald Michael Craig. So, I gotta get a drink first. So taking that into consideration with our, with our full moon and everything, I just kind of let the full moon, when I did the heart breath, I just kind of took in the full moon more so. Trying not to take in so much earth, but then again, I needed it. I needed it to ground me back down. But then I did this. All this just kind of got in the way of the heart breath meditation, but I still know that it worked. It was good. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling better today. Things are clear, a lot less foggy, if you want to say. So, the dreams last night were insane. I mean, completely insane. I don't even remember what I dreamt about. It was just pretty intense. But very cool. Very cool. Alright. So, okay, for instance number 1. M had been divorced and was looking for a new mate for her life. She followed the instructions in this course. Within days, a man came into her life who fit virtually all of her desired characteristics in a man. They dated for a while and they were married. Okay, so that's one simple little example that I'm sure almost everybody can find in their lives. So, instance 2. N was taking this course in Southern California area, and in the class after the one on talismans, she told him that she would have to drop the class. When he asked her why, she replied that she had been trying to sell her mobile home for 6 months without luck. So she tries making a talisman to help her sell her house. The house sold in a few days, and she had to prepare to move. So, pretty interesting. So, I really want to get into the Talismanic Magick. Sorry, guys. Freaking no. So 3. This is another instance. So Q was studying at a major university while he was also taking this class. He asked how the talismans could help him to study and learn for a test he would be having in 2 weeks. So Donald Michael Craig gave him advice on what type of talisman to make. So later, however, he had to give him more help. He had made a talisman to gain knowledge and information, but he had charged it improperly and too soon. So he found that his head was filled with data, which had nothing to do with the test that he was going to take. So Donald gave him some more help, and he did very well on the test. So this is pretty much lower magic. It doesn't have to be high magic. It doesn't have to be ceremonial. It doesn't have to go crazy. Very simple. And that's what I was doing last night. Just very simple. Specifically charged. Very specific in my petitions, because I've had them backfire on me. I mean, they do backfire on you, but it's just they either work the right way, or they don't work, or they just come back to you. Okay, I'm not hallucinating. Alright, so, okay, as discussed in the previous section of this lesson, practitioners of the art of low magic were closer in spirit to nature than most of their high magic practicing counterparts. So notice that Donald used the past tense in the previous sentence. So today, many low magicians live in large cities and know little of nature's majesty. So luckily I do not live in the city. I live out in the country where I can actually go outside and I can actually, if I need trees or, something, herbs, I can go to the forest. I can take a walk down the street and most likely find, what I'm looking for. So just like following your intuition, that magical voice, that inner voice, follow it. Do act on that voice, act on inspiration. And I learned a lot of acting on inspiration from you, EA. So that was an amazing lecture. So if you guys want to watch that, I highly recommend it. It's called You Cannot Escape the Forces of Black Magic. It's not what it sounds like. So, alright. Okay, many who call themselves witches or pagans are nothing more than people practicing a simplistic form of high magic. However, this in itself should be considered a small miracle, as most people who consider themselves to be high magicians do not practice any type of magic. This means that if you practice magic, as described in these lessons, you will truly be a unique, a real practitioner of art, magic. So, that's just like today, Sunday. People that go to church, just on Sunday. So, the Sunday morning Christian. There we go. So, alright, looking back at the pagans of an earlier time, we see that most, if not all, were in harmony and in a close communication with nature. They easily saw that all things on this planet were composed of 4 categories. Everything had degrees of hotness or coldness. Copying the early high magicians and the alchemists, they called this element fire. So, things could be more or less solid, which is earth, and varying degrees of fluidity, water, and various degrees of compactness or expansiveness, which would be air. So, the way we breathe, the heart breath meditation, taking that in, connecting us to the 4 directions, and to the earth, taking in the earth, taking in the sky, putting our own intention, filling it with our love right here in our heart space. Right there. Perfect alchemical. So, we've already discussed these 4 elements. So in fact, you should already know, you should know by now, not only be in harmony with these elements, but you should also have some degree of success in being able to control them. Although the main focus in this course is high magic or ceremonial magic, being able to work with these elements is the basis of all forms of magic to a real magician. Terms such as high magic, low magic, art magic, etc. are only terms used only to help others understand what you are doing, enable you to better communicate. To a real magician, the important question is whether or not it is high or low, but did it work or not? See, and that is my entire, did it work or did it not? I don't care what label that's placed on it. I don't care if, people call me a witch or pagan, whatever, heathen. Witch, yes. Magician, I don't like the word magician, honestly. It's too sci-fi, too sci-fi for me. So with this in mind, he wants to discuss another disagreement that magicians have with another set of people. So these people have their minds open to new ideas, as long as those ideas fall into their belief patterns. So, no, I'm not talking about religious fanatics. I'm talking about scientists. So, as stated before, many scientists tend to scoff at the simple, fourfold division of matter. Modern science points to its own periodic table of elements and says, quote, "We can prove the existence of about 100 elements," unquote. This, according to the modern scientists, makes the old four-element theory obsolete superstition nonsense. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So, alright, the four-element, really five, theory does not define element the same way modern magic or modern science does. So the four elements define the properties of matter, not its chemical makeup. So, gold is an element in the modern scientific sense in the four-element theory, or perhaps four-quality theory would be a better phrase. Gold has relative amounts of fire, air, earth, and water. So, there we go. All in one. All in one. So therefore, both the ancient four-element theory and the modern scientific theory of the elements can coexist with no problem, so long as you understand that the word element has a different meaning for its scientists and for magicians. So I feel that it's important to understand these differences, which is why Michael is going to have represented this material at this time. So pretty much it's a repeat. So, alright, here, this is pretty interesting. I was actually going through this last night too. So you have probably heard of a person obtaining the lock of another person's hair to use as a basis for casting a spell upon the person for whom the lock of hair was taken. The hair does not merely represent the person from whom it was taken, but it actually is said to be in sympathy with that person. So that falls into the category of sympathetic magic, like attracts like, contagious magic even. So here the word sympathy has the earlier, somewhat archaic meaning of being closely related, and not the modern meaning of feeling sorry for someone. That would be empathy. Empathy or sympathy. I think it's sympathy. Or having similar feelings or emotions as another person. This is the reason that this type of spellcasting is frequently called sympathetic magic. Okay, that makes more sense. I understand that now. So other things could be used to represent and be in sympathy with another person. A picture, a piece of clothing, pairings from the person's finger or toenails. No. A drawing or a doll could be used to relate to the person. So, expanding on this, we can find that there are many things which could correspond to a person. So, it is in this way that lists, correspondences can be set up, as was the list of Kabbalistic correspondences given in an earlier lesson. So, the four elements have correspondences too. So, here's a list of some possible correspondences. So, for air, if we're doing mojo bags. Sorry, guys. God, they are so freaking red. God, it's ridiculous. Alright, so air, we can take this into consideration when we are actually doing our pouches. So, with our pouches, candle magic, all of it. So, air, a feather, incense, the colors, blue or gold. I like that, the feather of Mott, that's what that represents to me. So, earth, a rock, pentacles in the tarot, the colors brown, black, or green. So, and that's basically, since there is gold lodestone sand in there, that basically, all of it is all contained right here. So, and then bringing it to life with your breath. So, alright, we went through earth and air, fire, a piece of coal, a match, the color red, or a reddish orange. So, we could closely relate coal with shungite. So shungite can fall into that category. Pretty much I think so. So, water, a pebble found near or in water, a shell, a colors blue, black, or green. So everything basically that I did corresponds to all of this with that pouch. Pretty neat. So notice that in the above short list, there's a duplication in the use of colors corresponding to the elements. This is not a mistake. So rather, if you allow yourself to choose which system of color correspondency you wish to use. So just as in the above list, certain objects correspond to one of the four elements. So too can the elements relate to a variety of ideas, as shown below. And this kind of also helped me with tarot. So I'm brushing up on tarot just a little bit, trying to get myself more comfortable with being able to teach it. I do feel very comfortable with using the cards, but not for a whole reading. I can't. That's not me. That's why I always do Ouija first. And then you guys get validated through cards, runes, that kind of thing. Blaine went to sleep. So, alright. So we can really, I know this is important, and I know I should be doing the 4 adorations. So I can actually literally align myself. So I'm actually, waking up with the sun, going to bed when the sun goes down, which I should be. Alright, so just as in here's another correspondence list that we can take into consideration for everything that we do. I mean, the board itself can be a talisman. So, air, schooling, memory, intellectualization, teaching, tests, divination, communications, travel, writing, organizing, and organizations, groups of all kinds, theorizing, and drug addiction. So you can take air, and you could help yourself with new ideas, fresh new ideas, to help yourself to, if you have a drug addiction, I don't know, do you guys? Just an example. So earth, money, jobs, promotions, business, investments, material objects, fertility, agriculture, health foods, ecology, conversation, stock market, antiques, old age, museums, buildings, construction, progress, the home, the physical world, daily necessities such as food and clothing. So we can really focus on when we do our heart breath meditation to bring in earth into our life, because that's what we need. We need necessities, food, clothing, and health for our families and the pets, animals. Alright, so fire, success, sex, banishing some illnesses, military, conflicts, protection, courts, law, police, and sheriff's agencies, contests, competitions, private detectives, dowsing, treasure hunting, gambling, athletics, strength, good health, war, terrorism, and on a more personal level, anything related to the Freudian-eyed, the lower emotions of absurd desire and lust. That is, too much desire or lust. Anger, violent emotions, also things having speed. So, we could actually use fire against fire. Fight fire with fire. I think we can. I've done it, I think. Pretty sure. So, we could actually balance it out. We could all balance those out. Alright, so water. Higher forms of love and the deeper emotions such as compassion, faith, loyalty, and devotion. Also friendship, partnerships, unions of any kind, affection, contract, negotiation, beauty, rest, recuperation, meditation, spirituality, healing wounds, restoring growth, childbirth and children, the home, receptivity, family, swimming, diving, fishing, ancestors, medicine, hospitals, compassion, doctors, nursing, and clairvoyancy. So, Have any ideas, guys? Have any ideas for Ouija sessions, mojo bags, candles, anything? I found it really neat yesterday too that EA does portal candles. I had no idea, and you guys all know my portal to hell candle, which is the underworld, not hell. It's the underworld where the ancestors are. The pale ones below. Yeah, basically the underworld. So. Strange. I don't know why these keep doing that. So yeah, I had no idea. I thought it was amazing when I came across that snippet. He basically he makes his own candles though, portal candles, which I thought was pretty interesting. Thank you for the idea. Love it. I love that idea of portal candles. And that is really, literally, what I did. It was a portal candle, portal to hell. But not, not the hell that you guys think. And I thought it was pretty cool, though, that he added in that, literally, the flame is the portal. So when you ever leave a candle lit without intention, because things can come through. Which makes sense, which would make a lot of sense. I light too many candles at night. Too many. So, notice that a few of the listings above seem duplicated, appearing in more than one of the 4 elemental categories. As an example, the home is listed under earth and water. Again, this is not an error. Here it allows you to more closely define the terms. Under the element earth, the home refers to a structure, the building wherein you live. Under the element of water, the home refers to the qualities of home, life, love, stability, support, etc. So, I'm getting some ideas here. So, you could probably add many other ideas to the list as a result if you're working with the elements over the last few months. This is highly advisable. What you might do is start a small book with precise definitions of what the elements represent to you. So use the above list as a starting point and expand upon it. And no, the above list is not written in stone as immutable law in some dark, dank cave in the Himalayas. So if you want to remove something from the from the above list or place it in another element, make sure you're right. Then go ahead with the above information. You now have a system for making of talismans. So, that's the entire system. All of it for talismans. Charging, empowering, incorporating all the elements to make sure that we have what we want. So do you need help with the test? Make a talisman of air. Do you need more love? Make a talisman of water. Is there too much anger and violent emotions in your family life? Make an amulet of fire. I need my highlighter. If I can find it. No coincidence in that. So, where did I go? So, Okay. Is there too much anger and violent emotions in your family life? Make an amulet of fire. There we go. And then I need to highlight fire too. So I think that would be a really interesting talisman. And tonight is actually the full moon. So, luckily I made 2 pouches. Don't know why. Now I do. Alright. Okay, make an amulet of fire, blah blah blah. If you need more money, a talisman of earth should do the trick. Now that you know on which element to base the talisman you wish to construct, the next question is, what is the first step for constructing a low magic talisman? So whether you are doing low magic, high magic, or any other magic, if you are doing something to affect yourself or someone else on this plane, that is, if you are doing gray magic, always begin by doing a divination. This person says I cannot stress this sufficiently. So yes, always do divination. Always check in with your ancestors. That's what I do. I always ask my grandma, should I do this? Should I not? Sometimes she says no, and then I go ahead and I do it, and I reap what I've sown. So, okay, one law which everything in our world must live by is the law of most commonly called karma, the law of cause and effect, and not the threefold law, not the Wiccan stuff. Every action you take has its own consequences, which will come upon you whether you are prepared for those consequences or not. So practitioners of low magic tend to go one step further than the as you sow shall you reap idea of karma. They say that whatever you do will be returned to you threefold. No, this threefold law states that if you do something good, you will be rewarded with a similar amount of good 3 times over. However, doing something negative, you will be rewarded with 3 times as much bad coming your way. And karma is carried over from one life to the next. Suicide or death does not expiate karma. So yeah, I guess suicide is very selfish because you're hurting your body. Alright. So yes, the law of 3, no. Never. Don't believe in it. So, alright, let's say that you want to leave the country, but need a great deal of money to do so. So, you make a talisman to get money. Shortly after, you learn that your parents have been in an accident and died, leaving you a large inheritance. You've done gray magic and helped yourself on the physical plane by getting the money, but your talisman may have been responsible for the death of your parents. So your magic was definitely the blackest kind. That's where I don't know. I don't know my thoughts about that. That seems to be a little overwhelming, a little much to put on somebody for doing a talisman for money. I would think so, don't you? I mean, the death of your parents for money. So why not just throw in the greater good? Is that? So karma is immoral, so meaning it has no morality. So it is perfectly and totally just. There are no exceptions to the law of karma, and karma any more than there are exceptions to the law of gravity. So if you do black magic, whether or not you originally intended to be black, you will pay for it sooner or later. So I am therefore urging you never to do black magic. I do so not on any moral grounds, although I'm ethically against black magic, but for self-protection. Alright, so self-protection. If somebody comes and tries to harm you and hurt your family, of course you're going to go after that person. Of course. So, in the above case, the Talismanic had no way of knowing whether or not the gray magic would become black. So, what should have been done first, therefore, was a divination to see whether or not it would be a good idea to do the talisman, and what the outcome would be. I kind of disagree with that. Because everything's changing so much. So we don't know specifically if it was your talisman that did it. I don't think so. But yes, I do agree with doing a divination before you do any kind of magical working, always. So, by doing this, you can protect yourself from accidentally doing black magic and leaving or and having to suffer the consequences. So, before doing any gray magic, always do a divination. So, kind of makes sense. I mean, but I don't think, a simple talisman is going to kill your family. I honestly don't think so. So the next step in making a low magic talisman is to find an appropriate object to use for the talisman. So, given just before the above correspondences for the 4 elements are different objects, which can be used for making of talismans associated with the elements. However, any object may be used. A pointed red or a rock painted red can represent fire. A necklace or ring can also be used. So put a coin in your refrigerator for an hour, take it out with your left hand. Now put it in your right hand. You will find, of course, that the coin has gotten warmer than it was when you removed it from the refrigerator. Oh, the coin has been infused with energy in the form of heat. Okay, so fire. That makes sense to me. Alright, the coin has been infused with energy in the form of heat. Likewise, virtually anything in this world has been infused with various types and quantities of psychic energies. So, perhaps you have gone on vacation and you have been in an utterly magnificent hotel room, yet that room may have felt cold and uncomfortable compared to your far less luxurious home. This is because your psychic energies have not infused the room as they have your home. This is why even if you're at home, your home is a dump, crawling with bugs, it can still feel like your home. So you would have to live in a place for days, weeks, or even months before the new house or apartment becomes your home. So literally putting your psychic imprint into your home. So that is why that's why we like our homes. That's why we want to be home, because it corresponds with our hearts. Our beds, sleep, just everything. Everything is very, very good. It can be. Alright. Okay, even small objects pick up psychic charges from their environment. Therefore, before using any oil or any object as a talisman, it must be first purified, cleansed of any or unknown charge of psychic energy. So, very true. Very true. You always have to. That's why we sage. That's why we do cleansing rituals. That's why we wash them with water. If it's just a black crystal salt, clear it. Doing the heart breath meditation. On an in-breath, you can invoke sage, the element of sage, and then breathe that into your talisman or any object, and it will cleanse it. You are invoking the element of that particular plant, and it's going through your breath, so you can invoke it with breath and heart breath meditation, which is really cool. Same thing for deities, same thing for spirit guides, all that. So, alright, so this is very easy to do. So hold the object to be used as a talisman under running water. Alright, so for this purpose you can use water out of a sink faucet or garden hose, or more traditionally a stream. Hold it for about 3 minutes, while you visualize all energies within the object flowing out of it with the water. Do not use the waves of the ocean for this purpose, as waves keep coming back and would return the object. You have chosen the energies that you wish to cleanse. So that makes sense. They go out and then they come back in. So it's back and forth, back and forth. So you're just going to keep getting that energy back to the object that you want to cleanse. Okay. Where did I go? Okay, if the object will not last well under flowing water, burying it in the ground for at least a half hour, preferably overnight. Our Mother Earth has a natural ability to ground out energies which are unwanted. So now we have an object painted in appropriate color, if you desire, which has been purified and is now ready to be charged. So here comes the charging part. So now we know how to really put together a talisman or a pouch or anything. Cleanse it. We have our correspondences, so now we can pick from those correspondences and put them into this pouch, this crystal, or whatever. So, the ancient pagans were too busy working in the day to do magical. Right, okay, the ancient pagans were too busy working in the day to do magical during the sunlight hours. That didn't make sense. Oh, magic. Duh. So, holidays might have been celebrated during the day, but gray magic was not usually done on festivals, so thus it has become traditional to do low magic at night. So that's very synchronistic. I did my talisman last night, and it's really helping. I can feel it. It's it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, okay, the best sites to do low magic are first, outside with a clear view of the moon. Full moon tonight. You can withstand the heat. It got really hot overnight. Second, outside without a view of the moon. Third, inside with a view of the moon. Fourth, inside without a view of the moon. You don't have to have a view of the moon. It's just there. It's full. All you have to do, heart breath, draw down the moon. So, very interesting. Very interesting stuff. I'm loving Talismanic Magick. So that would be the same thing with my skull. With the, it's turned into a complete orgon device. No clue why. No clue how. It just happened. Alright, so the moon, representing the goddess aspect of divinity, was also seen to be a key force in magic of all kinds. The phases of the moon were guides as to what your magic could do. So during the waxing moon, the period from the first sight of the new moon to the full moon, magic should be done to draw things towards you. Therefore, talismans should be made during the period of the growing moon. The strength of the moon will be at its height at the moment of the full moon, which is now, literally right now. So, amulets should be made from the day after the full moon until the moon is no longer visible. This phase is known as the waning moon and reaches its strength during the dark of the moon, that is, when the moon is not visible. That puts a different twist on that. So that kind of went along with what I did last night, so I feel good about that. Didn't really do any divination. Well, yeah, I did. So, alright. Where'd I go? The strength of the moon will be at its height at the moment of the full moon. Okay, this phase is known as the waning moon and reaches its strength during the dark of the moon when the moon is not visible. If someone is ill and you wish to make a talisman to aid the person, you can make a talisman for health during the waxing of the moon. If the moon is waning, you can make an amulet to cause disease to leave. Determine the phase of the moon and plan whether to make a talisman or an amulet accordingly. So, we have the full moon, which I think is perfect for all workings. And I'm kind of realizing, the moon phases do matter, sadly. Okay, so if you are not familiar with astronomy or astrology, you may wonder how to quickly determine the phase of the moon, even if you do not have an astrological calendar which clearly tells you the phase. I think everybody knows what a full moon looks like. So, it clearly tells you the phase of the moon. Okay, so although you should probably attain one of these useful tools, there is an easy source for this information: your daily newspaper. All newspapers tell you the phase of the moon. All of them do. Even most calendars do. So usually neither are near either the weather section or near the sport fishing section. You will find some rather silly looking drawings of the man and the moon. These will tell the dates of the full moon, new and quarter moons. So with this information, it becomes very easy to determine the phases of the moon. So how did these pagans in the past do all of this without knowledge of what phase of the moon? So most pagans, both past and present, do not like the morals and ideas of others foisted upon them. So as a sign of their independence and freedom, many practitioners of low magic prefer to work skyclad, which is naked. I would love to work naked. I think that would be amazing. I just can't. Not yet. So, while this does cut down on clothing bills and cleaning expenses, it can also cause a problem for those who wish to work outside in their backyard. Due to prying neighbors, if you cannot work skyclad or you feel strange or inhibited working without clothes, then by all means do wear your special magical clothes or robe. So, Set up a small altar. You can use a table, chair, tree stump, or a flat rock. I actually have a giant tree stump in my closet that I used to use for when I was doing Haitian voodoo, Grand Bois. That was for him. It was a giant tree stump. And believe me, don't bring tree stumps into your house. Ever. Unless you want mites. But it's cleaned. It's completely clean now. Alright, so, but orient it so that when behind it you will be facing north and not east. So on the altar have the object you wish to use as a talisman, plus candles of the appropriate color and incense if you like. So you are now ready to begin the ritual, with which will charge the talisman and make it a powerful magical tool. So I'm gonna go over this just real quick. So before going on, do you remember doing a divination first? If not, do so now. Remember the question of your divination in the form of what will be the outcome of my making a talisman or amulet for the purpose of fill in. I like to ask. I need some insight into into this working, into what I'm doing. I need some insight, so I don't ask yes or no questions. That was not really a yes or no question, but I don't like the way it was worded. So, okay, the following ritual is far more mental than verbal. In fact, in this ritual there is little to say, but many things to do. So, I like this. We'll go over this ritual. Step 1. First, you should purify yourself and your area. Visualize a brilliant white, some say violet, light coming from the ends of the universe, going through at the top of your head and down through your feet into the earth. As it does, realize that this pure light is taking with it all problems and impurities, which may have been within you and on your mind, either consciously or unconsciously. Next, visualize a bright white light forming a ring above your now purified self at chest height. Now see in your mind's eye the expansion of this light of pure white brilliance so that it forms a circle around you, 3, 5, 7, or 9 feet in diameter. So the size depends on the space available to you. Finally, the circle should expand above and below so that you are surrounded above, below, behind, and to the front with the white light. You should be in the center of a brilliant sphere of white light. So that's within the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. That's all within that. That's what you're doing. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Alright, so okay, if you prefer more ritualism, you may mix the work in the above paragraph with the following. So, if ritualism is not that important to you, it kind of is to me, a little bit, but I just find low magic to be more, just sitting down in front of my altar and, writing a petition paper and, I feel if the gods and goddesses, know our intention and know our heart is pure, they're going to hear our call. So, okay. So, you will need a stick of incense and a small bowl of earth, of salt, and another small bowl of water. Light the incense and hold it in front of you. Remember, you should be facing north. And then you're going to say, "Behold, this is the union of fire and air." Next, put 3 pinches of salt into the water, or use the tip of your magical blade to pick up and pour 3 measures of salt into the water. So you're going to hold up the mixture and say, "Behold, this is the union of water and earth." So, now move to the north side of the circle with the stick of incense. Hold the incense in front of you and say, "I purify the north with fire and air." And then you're going to walk clockwise to the east. Hold out the incense and say, "I purify the east with fire and air." Continue in a similar manner at the south and west. Complete the circle by returning to the north. Now go back to your altar. Replace the incense and pick up the mixed water and salt. So, Go to the north portion of the circle. Dip your fingers in the salt and water solution and sprinkle it toward the north, 3 times saying, I purify the north with water and earth. Continue sprinkling as you move to the east. Stop at east. Sprinkle 3 times as you say, I purify the east with water and earth. Continue in the like manner to the south and west. Complete the circle by returning briefly to the north, then return to the altar. Now repeat this entire sensing and sprinkling process, except instead of using the word purify, use the word sanctify. Hence, I sanctify the north with fire and air, etc. Alright, so again, you may fix the 2 methods of purifying yourself and the area, or use either the mental or ritual procedures. So you do not have to use both. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that idea. So as an aside, some self-professed pagans who abhor anything which hints at ritual magic or Kabbalism, they clear their area with the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. So while there is nothing wrong with this practice, it is certainly not part of any ancient Wiccan system. Those who practice magic should be open to all possibilities. People who use Kabbalistic methods, while decrying Kabbalism, should seek out the motive for their hypocrisy. So, alright, step 2. After purifying and clearing your circle, the next step is to grab the moon. Here what you must do is to take the essence of your magical nature of the moon, the goddess aspect of divinity, into your hands and place the nature into the talisman. At the same time, your hands must charge the nature of the moon with the purpose of the talisman. So to grab the moon, we use the gesture known as the triangle of manifestation, which was described earlier in this course. To refresh your memory, this action is made by folding both hands flat with thumbs extended at 60 degrees from the fingers. Place the tips of your thumbs together and tips of the first fingers of each hand together. This will form a triangle with the thumbs at the baseline and the first fingers forming the 2 sides. So, like this. That's how we are going to grab it down, pull it down. So, now you're going to hold up this triangle of manifestation so that you could see the moon surrounded by the triangle. If you are in a place where you cannot see the moon, visualize it within the triangle. In short time, there will seem to be 2 moons. The real or visualized moon will have a second moon next to it. It will appear slightly to the side or out of phase of the original moon. This second moon is the essence of the moon's magical power. So, it is possible that you may not be able to see the second moon, but knowing that it is there will suffice. So yes, always know that it's there. Drawing down the moon. Very simple. Very easy. Alright, step 3. Now you must do 2 things at once. While concentrating on the second moon, slowly bring your hands down toward the object you are using for the talisman. So try to keep the second moon's image within the triangle, or just at least know that it's there. And in your mind, repeat over and over mentally a single word or short phrase which best represents the purpose of the talisman. As an example, the word health could be used to represent, I wish to get over this cold and regain my health. Limit any phrase to no more than 4 words. So, I wouldn't be doing what I actually do. I would be doing a magical working if I'm sick. Just not Ouija. So, right, as you do these things, bring your hands down, or hands over, then down around the talisman. This is going to surround the talisman with the triangle formed by your hands, the energy of the moon, impregnated by your will for the purpose of the talisman, is now joining with the object. So in a few seconds you should experience a new sensation. Some people describe it as a sudden lightness in the hands. Others describe it as a rush of energy or snapping sensation in the hands. Everyone experiences this sensation somewhat differently, so I can't give an exact description. However, as soon as you experience the change, clap your hands or snap your fingers as you separate your hands and you say, "It is done," or I say, "As it is." So, what has happened here is that the energies of the moon mixed with your will have moved into the object, empowering your talisman, so it is now charged and operative. So, kind of what I did. Kinda. So, alright, step 4. To finish the ritual in your own words, thank the powers of the universe who have aided you in this ritual, and bid them to depart their homes and, habitations. When you have achieved the goal of the talisman, the object needs to be discharged of any remaining energy. This can be done by holding it under the water or burying it as before. It can be reused as a talisman for another purpose. So, if possible, destroy the object by burning it to ash and getting rid of the ash in the air by throwing it, or into water, or just put it into running water, or bury it where it will not be found. So, it gives us a lot more insight. We could do talismans for, to amp up our Ouija sessions, talismans for health, talismans for, money, whatever we need, protection for our families, our homes, all of that good stuff. So, okay, you may charge several talismans for the same purpose at one time. However, it's not a good idea to try to energize several talismans for different purposes at the same time, or even during the same ritual. Focus on one thing at a time. When using a talisman, it's a good idea to keep it on you or near you. If you are making the talismans for someone else, tell him or her to keep the talisman on or near their body. Of course, you should ask the person's permission before making a talisman or giving it to him or her. Do not, however, tell the person the intricacies of the ritual and the construction of the talisman. So, tell the person to whom you give the talisman to destroy the object or return it to you once the talisman has achieved its purpose. Sounds good. So, the subconscious mind does not think in negative. Don't make a talisman to stop smoking. You'll start smoking. Rather make one to be free of smoking. Alright, you may wish to put a time limit on your talisman. So, in your charging, have it planned to achieve its goal in 1 week, or 1 month, or by a certain date. Even if you do not achieve the goal by that date, be sure to purify and destroy the talisman at that time. Then wait 2 more weeks to see if a result is forthcoming. If not, analyze what you might have done wrong and start over. So, chemicals under the same condition always react with each other in the same way. If they do not, the mistake was made by the examiner. Likewise, magic always works. If not, you may have made some error. It is interesting to note that while scientists will readily accept a statement regarding chemicals, they will attempt to refute the similar statement regarding magic. In this case, logic is on our side, not theirs. So, this is a lot about talismans. Wow. Like I say, once you have charged your talisman, don't think about it. Your subconscious plays an important part in the magical process, constantly bringing the aspect of the mind which connects us to the astral plane down to the physical world will lower the effectiveness of your magical work. Go back and reread the section on creative visualization. Be confident that your talisman is charged and will be effective. So if you wish, you may recharge a talisman once a month without purifying the object, if you are charging it for the exact same purpose and goal. So, a small or large statue makes a wonderful protective amulet, technically called a guardian, for a house or apartment. It should be recharged at least once every 6 months, although monthly would be better. Keep it by the front door if you have several entryways into your home. Use several small statues, or even colorful rocks, overlooking each entry. So, here we go. More on Talismanic Magick. That was a long video on Talismanic Magick. So, how do you guys plan to do? Do you guys plan on doing anything like that? That is what I am going to do. I am going to redo. Well, I'm going to just use my other pouch that I made. I made 2 for a reason. Now I know why. And now I have some ideas to help me and to aid me. That just validated a lot of what I already did. So, did that validate anything for you guys? Any of your workings? Anything help you at all? I hope it did. I really did. Alright. So, alright, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Tomorrow all orders will be going out. Tomorrow all Ouija sessions will be done. Well, the one, and then we will continue throughout the week. So, just hang in there if you're waiting for a reading. I'm almost tip-top again, so yes, let me know what you guys think. And yes, that's pretty much it. So, I got a little bit of work to do now for this, so yeah, just let me know what you guys think about the Ouija boot camp, what you guys think about just all of this, and then we'll get things going for this coming 3rd session or 3rd course for the Ouija boot camp. So, blah. Alright, guys, I think that's it. So I will see you all tomorrow. So I love you all very much with all my heart, all the way from Venus, all the way back down. And I will see you all definitely tomorrow. So everybody have fun, stay cool. It's really freaking hot. And yes, I love you all, and thank you guys for watching.